Yo, what's going on, guys? Caught me in the middle of a rant here, back at it with another banger video. In today's video, I was just ranting and I was totally pissed off. So I thought I might as well articulate some of my points. Now, this isn't a scripted video, this isn't an edited video, this isn't a planned video. I am just speaking from the heart right now. So, disclaimer, I may not get all the facts in this video correct. I may come off a bit, I don't know, angry, I guess, because I'm ranting. And also, this isn't a video to call you a horrible person. Now, I think to say your favorite artist is a horrible person is an interesting thing to say, right? Because you could be talking to anyone and say that, right? You could go up to someone whose favorite artist is amazing, someone who donates to charity, is very heavily pro LGBT, who is very heavily pro non-white races, as well as white people. But you know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at. Like, I don't want I don't want the Republicans coming to my video and saying, "Oh, I haven't thought of a name yet." Says if you like white people, you're a bad person. I mean, fucking look at this thing. But you know, this person could be everything. They could have saved 150 million puppies, and they help old ladies cross the road every day. So that may be your rebuttal to my take, right? And to that I say, Among Us. No, I don't say Among Us. I slipped up on that take. Do I re-record this? I'm getting closer to the square. No. But I think there is a lot more nuance in that than a lot of people realize. One thing that conservatives will consistently do to sort of alienate centrists from the left wing is paint this red versus blue narrative, right? This red versus blue, black versus white, wrong versus right, bad versus good. I don't know. I was gonna try and incorporate a rhyme into there because I thought I had a bit of flow when I said that, but I've just now knocked the flow of me talking further off. But yeah, they create this divide between the right and the left, which is a very intentional tactic. You know, if you want to alienate someone, the best thing you can do is isolate them. I'm speaking as someone who's manipulated multiple. Nah, I'm speaking. I haven't thought of a name yet. Is outed as master manipulator, loses all sponsorships. No, I mean obviously this isn't true. I'm not. I don't want to linger on this part of it because this has nothing to do with music. This is all about politics, and I want to get into the music stuff because this is a music channel. Subscribe for more music discussion. No. Ah, this is bullshit. Obviously, you know, my viewers will know me. I'm a very openly left wing person. You know, I don't mean to like virtue signal or like brag or anything, but I would say I'm very progressive in my views. I mean, obviously I'm 16 and dumb, so I don't know everything, and I'm still constantly learning new stuff about all the stuff that I'm saying. You know, I look back on shit I said 2 years ago and think, what an idiot. You know, um, but I'm a very left wing person. There are many left wingers who I fucking loathe and can't stand. As there are many right wingers I loathe and can't stand. As there are many centrists I loathe and can't stand. Because what conservatives like to leave out of every conversation is, say it with me, the N word. Nah, I'm playing. It's nuance. The dreaded N word. They're comfortable with saying the other one, but this one they can't. They can't have anything to do with this N word. In the, you know, you're not always going to agree with people. It's part of being human, you know. My parents are both pretty apolitical, and I know that that is strange for them because I'm constantly blowing up like, oh, look at what fucking Ronnie Radke said on the new album about trans people. Isn't that horrible? And they're just kind of like, I don't get it. You know? Does that mean I don't love them as my parents? No. My parents are great. I fuck with them. Shout out them. 2 of my subscribers right now. No. But on the other side of that coin, I can look at a left winger like Asmongold, for example. I don't mean to punch a man while he's down, but holy shit. If y'all don't know about the Asmongold situation, go fucking read up on it. It's insane. Go watch that rant. Like, the first time I saw that, I was like, holy shit. Right? So, this leads back to my point of your favorite artist is a horrible person. Now, when I was in school, long time ago, I'm 16. When I was in school, I did modern studies, which, if you don't know what that is, I'm going to mansplain. No, if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much just current events, right? Modern study, clues in the name. A lot of people just sort of lump it in as politics, and it pretty much, like, kind of is. It's just about current events. But when you would write an answer to a question, you'd have to do point, explain, example. Or point, example, explain, I don't know. I've made my points, so now let's go on to examples. That's right. Let me think of an obscure musician. That's right, Kid Ink. I'm calling you out now. Kid Ink, you're a horrible person. I don't actually know if Kid Ink's done anything. If he's not, then sorry. If he has, then I'm not sorry. But, you know, who's your favorite artist right now? Think. Is your favorite artist maybe Drake? Is your favorite artist Kanye West? Is your favorite artist, I don't know, like, we can go back and look, like, is your favorite artist Kurt Cobain? You know? Now, I'm not saying all these people are on the same level. I actually am not too familiar with Kurt Cobain, so I regret using him as an example, because I don't know anything that guy did. But Drake and Kanye, we can look at Drake and Kanye and say, those are 2 men who have made fantastic music, right? Drake was one of the artists to get me into rap music, as was Kanye. But to acknowledge their greatness and acknowledge their success, you also have to acknowledge them as people. And people will say separate the art from the artist, which I think separating the art from the artist goes as far as listening, right? You know? Like, your average person, like, even if they don't know about the things these people have done or said, you know, your average person streaming Gold Digger doesn't believe that World War II was a good thing, right? Your average person streaming Hotline Bling doesn't believe the alleged, please don't sue me, Drake, alleged spooky messages with people who are not in the age demographic to be having those spooky messages are a bad thing, right? Your average Kanye fan isn't a neo-Nazi, right? Unless they're a fan of Kanye as the persona rather than Kanye as the music. This is always something I've struggled with as a music fan, is artists who are fans of people. I wouldn't really call myself a fan of anybody. There are artists whose music I love. You know, I'll use Saba as an example. Saba's Care For Me album has got me through a lot of stuff. I wouldn't then say I'm a Saba fan. I don't know Saba. I've never spoke to him. I'm sure he's a lovely dude, but I've not spoken to him. Right? Same with Poppy. I love Poppy's music. Poppy's music was honestly the music that got me into reviewing. I don't know her as a person. Why would I then call myself a fan? But I think when people are calling themselves fans, you do kind of lose the separating the art from the artist narrative, because while someone says they're a fan of that artist. You know? Especially when the issue with the artist is in the art. Right? And you already know who I'm going to bring up as an example here. I am sick to death of talking about this man, but I'm going to bring up Tom MacDonald as an example of someone who you can't separate the art from the artist from. Because Tom MacDonald's issue is his art. You know, it's the message he puts out there. And thus, if you're listening to the music he makes, then you agree with what he says. Because the entire complexity of Tom MacDonald's music hinges on what he says. Because if you just liked how Tom MacDonald's music sounded, you'd be listening to any other trap out there. What sets Tom apart from other trap artists and other just YouTube rap artists in general, because that's what he sounds like, is his politics. Well, not even his politics. His never-ending grift. I don't respect him as a person, but I have to respect the fact that he's been grifting non-stop for like 8 years now. You know, I first heard about Tom MacDonald's issues back in like 2017. You know, and Tom is still grifting. And Tom is still pulling in numbers from grifting. I have zero respect for Tom as a person, but, like, I can kind of respect the grind. Right? As people, we've all done bad things. Right? I don't really think out there's such thing as a good person. In that it's not just a majority good thing, but I don't think there's a person out there who has never done anything bad. Hell, I'd argue there's not a person out there who hasn't done something completely reprehensible. You know? Like, multiple artists I listen to, I know have done horrible things. I acknowledge that. You know? I listen to Poppy. I think her association with Marlon Manson is really uncomfortable. And I don't like it, and it pisses me off. I listen to Drake's music, and I know that Drake likely isn't a great person, even if the allegations against him are proven false. Just purely being successful makes you a bad person, right? Because the very act of being rich is exploiting the poor. And we can all agree, because I hope there's no conservatives in the audience right now, because I'm imagining the conservatives all clicked off about 9 minutes ago. Right. What was I saying? I just trailed off. Shit. No, the very act of being rich is exploitation of the poor. And exploitation of the poor is disgusting. Thus, exploiting the poor to get rich is disgusting. You know? And why the fuck are there billionaires? You know? Like, I'm not gonna lie and say I'm a super oppressed person. I'm white. I'm a dude. You know? Like, I have never faced any adversity. And I've grown up in an area and in a household where I've always been looked after and I've never had to struggle, you know? But to know that there are people out there who have or who are facing adversity, while someone like Elon Musk, how? We'll even go lower. Taylor Swift. This isn't an attack on Taylor Swift before the Swifties come and ignore all nuance of my argument and bombard my comments, right? I'll use Taylor Swift as an example. Do you guys know how much money is in $1 billion? We're such a stat-driven race and species that, honestly, like, the numbers, we've become desensitized to them. Do you know how much $1 billion is? Go on. Actual exercise. Pause this video and go count to 1 billion right now. You can. You know? It's unfathomable. And we've got all these people talking about, I'm going to be the first trillionaire. Why? What can you do with $1 trillion that you can't do with, like, not a trillion, like with like 500 billion? What can you do with 500 billion that you can't do with 100 billion? What can you do with 100 billion that you can't do with 1 billion? What can you do with 1 billion that you can't do with 1 million? What can you do with 1 million that you can't do with 500,000? You know, I could keep going. You don't need that much money. You know? And this video, I guarantee I'm gonna get fucking Sigma Male Brian 145 commenting, "You're just jealous." Fuck yeah, I am. You know? This person could change my life with their tax money. You know? Like, it's ridiculous how much money that is. You know? So, your artist is a horrible person. Now, I'm gonna get onto another thing. Because my mother... This goes out to you, Mom. I just, like, drop my own, like, mum diss track. Do you remember when Morgs did that? No, my mum is a fan of scene music. You know? Classic. I mean, most reviewers are. You know, it's admittedly not a guilty pleasure of mine, but you ask 90% of reviewers what their guilty pleasure is, and they'll say 90s and 2000s emo and pop punk. And these bands, most of them, have been outed for doing horrible things. Whether it's the whole band being a bunch of plebeians, being a bunch of nincompoops, if you will, or one person in the band being a rotten egg, or 2 people or 3 people. You know what I mean. And this is another thing where I think, as a race, we've been desensitized to a massive degree. Sexual deviance isn't okay. Right? It's not. Period. That shouldn't be a hot take to say, but I know of a concerning amount of people out there who would disagree with that. And I think as an asexual person, I'm in an interesting place to talk about that because, I mean, sex is a big confusing thing to me, you know? Like, I don't get it. It grosses me out, but, like, that's not saying you can't do it, right? But from my perspective, I recognize all these people as abusive. But yeah, their fans still try and rationalize what they do or what they've done. You can listen to the music and acknowledge that the person behind it has done horrible things. You can listen to the music and not justify every single thing that person says. You know, Kanye West. I still listen to Graduation. I still listen to The College Dropout. Well, the College Trilogy as a whole. Fire. I still listen to Yeezus. Does that mean I agree with all the neo-Nazi bullshit that he's been spouting recently? No. Hell, do I agree with pretty much anything he's said post-MAGA era? No. I don't. Right? I listen to some Bring Me the Horizon records. I look back to horror stories about them from fans in the 2000s of like abuse allegations, and peeing on people was a weird theme. I look back at that and think, what the fuck? You know? And I'm going to use Marilyn Manson as another example. Marilyn Manson has had many accusations thrown at him. I don't know too much about them all because I'm not a Marilyn Manson fan and I wasn't alive when he was in really the peak of his powers as a musician, right? But I've spoken to numerous people about Marilyn Manson and said, Marilyn Manson's not a great dude. He's actually a pretty terrible one. And they've responded to me with, it was disproven. Or the case was dropped. Or it never made it to trial. And I just don't understand how inhuman a view that is. You know? I don't mean to be using such like radicalizing language right now. I'm not trying to radicalize you right now. But, you know, it's scary. Because even if all but one of those accusations were proven wrong, he's still a horrible person for the one. That doesn't take that one away, you know? Like, just because, like, for one of them, he was, like, in a different state or whatever, doesn't mean the other fucking 150 allegations or whatever against him are untrue. You know? And this whole woman lying about the R word thing is rooted in so much misogyny and weirdness that I don't get it, you know? Because actually think about it, right? I'm going to come up with a fake scenario with fake people to stop my ass getting sued. Alright? Emo band, the Toilet Gang, vocalist John Poops a Lot is really rich and fucking poopy old turd sees this and goes and thinks, right, I want some of that money, the same thing I was talking about earlier. I'm gonna go and sue that guy. Right? So she devises a plan, right? She brings all her friends over and is like, hey guys, what should we do? How are we gonna extort this guy? And they plot and scheme and they land on a crime. Why would they then accuse him of a crime where only 5% of cases of it even make it to fucking trial? You know? Even worse, why would she do that and then do it in the public eye? Right? It goes back to cancel culture. Name one successful cancellation. Every single cancelling leads to the celebrity losing a few sponsorships and being kind of blacklisted for a few years before coming back, while their victim is harassed for the rest of their fucking life. You know? Even in cases where the cancellation's real. You know? The person accusing the person the victim accusing the artist is true. Because 95% of the fucking time it is. You know? Like, come on. They're still harassed. They're still attacked. Purely because they dare speak about someone. Oh, their music saved my life. Well, that person's actions ruined another's. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean to get so heated, but it's like, why are we so desensitized? It was a different time. It was a different time. Shut the fuck up. Are you gonna say that all the fucking presidents owning slaves, it was a different time, so it's justifiable? No. Do you know why it was a different time? Because we progressed as a society since. Why have we progressed? Because it was a horrible thing to do then. It's still a horrible thing to do now. You know? Like, come the fuck on. It was a different time, headass. If you genuinely have that mentality, unsubscribe from my channel right now. Fuck off. I don't want you here. Right? It makes me sick. It does. And because of all these things I'm saying, any artist can go and drop a record, drop a single, talking about cancel culture and the woke mob, and pull 1 million fucking streams. They'll be funded by the Daily Wire for it. Yeah, all these self-made artists. Tom MacDonald self-made. Jelly Roll self-made. Oliver Anthony self-made. Look at the people funding them. It's the Daily Wire is not a record label, but you know, it fucking operates as one. So I'm gonna go back to the original point in this video. Your favorite artist's a horrible person. What should you do about it? This isn't a video to say you need to go and harass these artists. This isn't a video saying you need to stop streaming these artists' music. I'm not actually telling you to do anything. I just want people to be more vigilant in knowing who they're listening to. You know? Not even that. You can listen to someone without knowing a single thing they've done. Don't then pull up trying to rationalize it. Because deep down, your favorite artist is a horrible person. I said the thing. Okay, that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on me doing this more sort of unorganized style. It was very fun. I mean, I flew off the rails quite a few times, but I think this is something I'm very passionate about, and I do want to continue this discussion, so comment down below your thoughts. Leave a like if you liked, subscribe for more music discussion. Please do consider following my album of the year at HTOANY, same as my YouTube channel, for written reviews. Also my second channel, which is just this but with a 2 on the end. Please consider dropping by there to see more sort of random content. And that'll be me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and bye! That's some 2014 shit.